Spurs hit 4 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on Saturday against Everton. A rocket from Yves Bissouma, a header from Christian Romero and a brace from Heung-min Son. Spurs are unbeaten after 2 games into the top 4. Newcastle away up next.
Chris Cowlin. Fan cams. Club news. Transfer news. Match previews, legend interviews, Spurs women, press conferences, covering everything Tottenham and England.
Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all keeping well. This is another edition of Spurs in the Media, where I began through all of today's newspapers, looking at all of the articles from the game at Tottenham Hotspur 4, Everton 0. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you listen to this on an audio platform, please do hit the follow button and leave a review if you can. So let's get straight into it, and let's start with a report from the Sun newspaper. This double-page spread is in their sports supplement today, and it says here, cooking on gas. Bissouma's strike gets Ange's men firing. It then goes on to say whatever Ange Postecoglou said on the training ground this week worked a treat. This report then goes on to say, because 5 days after Tottenham's dreadful finishing cost them dearly in the 1-1 draw at Leicester, they looked a completely different team in front of goal. Imagine how good they will be when new striker Dominic Solanke returns from injury. Even after Christian Romero, James Maddison and Brennan Johnson missed early sitters, this was never ending up like Monday, because Everton never win in August, and Spurs, helped by debutant Wilson Odebear's explosive start, were brilliant. The visitors were so bad that even Yves Bissouma scored his first Tottenham goal and took first steps to making amends with boss Ange Postecoglou. Now, the match stats from the game. Shots, Spurs had 13 to Everton's 10. Shots on target, Spurs had 7 to Everton's 1. Possession, Spurs had 71% of the ball to Everton's 29%. Passes, Spurs 602 to Everton's 242. Completed passes, Spurs 539 to Everton's 181. Touches in the opposition box, Spurs had 33 to Everton's 25. Corners, Spurs had 12 to Everton's 5. Fouls conceded, Spurs 11, Everton 15. Now, also from the Sun newspaper today, on the back page, it says here, Staveley spurred. Amanda Staveley is stepping up a bid to buy into Tottenham. Sources say the former Newcastle co-owner is backed by serious money from the Middle East and wealthy individuals. It also states here, Staveley, 51, brought her shares in Newcastle in 2021 but left Tynecastle in July. Now she has put together a fresh funding team and hopes to take an initial stake in Spurs before then buying even more of the London club. ENIC, majority owned by 87-year-old Joe Lewis's family trust and involving Chairman Daniel Levy, may be open to selling. Tottenham are valued at £2.42 billion by global media company Forbes, so a deal for 25% of the club could cost Staveley around £650 million. The Sun have also stated here that Spurs are open to investment and there would not be a need for Staveley to dispose of her Newcastle shares first, as her holding is under the 9.9% limit for having a stake in 2 clubs. Staveley and her husband left Toon in July, just under 3 years after helping the Saudi Arabia Public Investment Fund buy the club from Mike Ashley. Staveley said last month, "I didn't want to get in Newcastle's way. It's got to be about what is best for Newcastle. It is very painful." Staveley also helped broker the £210 million sale of Manchester City in 2008. Now for a report from the Mail on Sunday, and their main heading states here, Bad Boy Bissouma back in Ange's good books. Yves Bissouma has been on his very best behaviour, according to Ange Postecoglou. They have also printed this wonderful picture here of Yves Bissouma's rocket. Of course, Tottenham's first goal of the game. It's got here Yves' rocket, distance 19 yards, shot speed 61 miles per hour. So the player ratings today from the Daily Mail, they have given goalkeeper Vicario a 6.5, Pedro Porro a 7, Romero a 7, Van der Ven a 7, Udogie a 6.5, Spence sub 6, Kulusevski a 7, sub Sarr a 6, Bissouma a 7.5, Archie Gray sub a 6, Maddison an 8, Johnson a 6.5. They're given player of the match to Heung-min Son an 8.5, Odegaard a 7, and sub Richarlison a 6.5. Now for a report from the Daily Mirror today, and their main heading states here, record Yves Bissouma has a gas to break goals duck. Yves Bissouma could have been forgiven for ballooning the ball high over the bar. After all, the Tottenham midfielder dropped last weekend for posting footage of himself inhaling laughing gas, had never hit the back of the net in 2 seasons at Tottenham. A couple of stats published by the Daily Mirror today. They are stating here Everton have won just 1 of their last 24 Premier League games against Tottenham, drawing 11 and losing 12. Tottenham have now won their first Premier League home game in 6 of the past 7 seasons. The Sunday Mirror have given man of the match to Yves Bissouma. It states here redemption for Tottenham's disgraced midfielder with a stunning strike to justify his recall. Now the match ratings or the player ratings today from the Sunday Mirror: Vicario a 7, Udogie a 7, Van der Ven a 7, Romero a 7, Pedro Porro an 8, Bissouma an 8, Kulusevski an 8, Johnson a 7, Maddison an 8, Odegaard and Son both with 7s. And all 5 subs that Ange Postecoglou used, Sarr, Richarlison, Spence, Gray and Bergvall, all got 6s. And lastly, a report from the Sunday Times today, and the main heading states here, Screamer gets Bissouma back in Postecoglou's good books, off the naughty step and back embracing his manager. Yves Bissouma has often tested Ange Postecoglou with his general waywardness. The player ratings today from the Sunday Times, they have given Vicario a 7, Pedro Porro a 7, Romero a 7, Mickey Van der Ven a 7, Udogie a 7, Kulusevski an 8, Bissouma a 7, Maddison an 8, Brennan Johnson a 7, Heung-min Son an 8, and Wilson Odegaard a 6. So, of course, Yves Bissouma was suspended for Monday's game against Leicester City at the King Power Stadium, but he was back in the starting 11 against Everton. Of course, he scored his first competitive goal for the club, scoring after just 14 minutes that rocket into the top corner past Jordan Pickford. Now, Ange Postecoglou spoke about the Spurs midfielder after the game. This is what he had to say.
Yeah, no, Biss was good, and we know Biss is a good footballer. It's about him sort of being the best version of himself, and he'll only get there if, as we've spoken a few times, discipline's a big thing for him. I thought it was a disciplined performance from today. Not just the goal he scored, but he had a really important job for us. We knew they'd sort of play fairly direct, and he had to be there to mop up second balls and intercept things, and he was clean for the most part in possession, so good performance.
Thanks for watching and thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you listen to this on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe and well. Come on, you Spurs.